guys, welcome back for one of my favorite videos. This is a video where I'm going to talk about all my favorite polishes from 2024. I'm also going to pick my top 5 at the end and letting you know what my number 1 is if I can. These are all new polishes that were released last year, and it was fun to go through and look at past collections and remember the good polishes we had. I feel like in fall I was kind of thinking we didn't really have a lot of great polishes this year, and I think that's because they started coming out with a lot of shimmery colors and glitter polishes, and so I was thinking this year was kind of not so great with the colors. But as I was reviewing and going through everything, I was reminded of so many good ones. I have my top 15, and then I'm going to mention probably about 20 other polishes because when I pulled them out, I think I had about 30 in here, and I had to narrow it down, which was kind of tricky actually, but I'm going to just quickly mention those that I also pulled out. So I hope you guys enjoy this. It's going to take a few minutes to go through everything, so grab a snack and sit down, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it. Before we get into it, I will link my sweater down below. It's from LL Bean. I'm really liking LL Bean the last few years, and it's just fun to have a nice cozy sweater for the winter. And then I'll talk about this polish because obviously it's going to be one of the ones that I talk about in this video. And then on my lips, I'm wearing Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk. So one of my favorite that I wear all the time. I couldn't decide if I should start going lightest to darkest, which I typically do, or going like spring through winter, but I think I'm just gonna do what I usually do and start with the lighter shades. First up is As Good As It Gets, and this is a really nice polish from the summer collection. It's the My Me era. The collection was really great. It had quite a few creams that were really nice, kind of an interesting mix of creams. It had some like browns, and then it had this beautiful light gray, which I love. I love any colors that are really light and just have a hint of color, and that one is this one. So it has a really good formula too, which I also loved about it. It was really close to Set Apart by Tile Art and my boyfriend's Scales Wells. Those are quite a bit older though, so it's nice to have a new one, and I feel like this formula is a lot better than those other ones, and it's just nice to have a white that's just a tiny bit gray. So I really loved this one. I've worn it. I think this is a great any time of the year color, and I love that about it too. Then we have O&J Self Portrait, and this was from their fall collection this year, and I really loved it. The thing I like about it is it's not just a gray, it is a little more cooler, so it does have a hint of blue in it, which I think sets it apart, especially to a lot of the grays in the Olive and June line, and so I really love that about it. You almost look at it and think sometimes that it's just a little bit blue. This does have a acrylic formula that's pretty typical for Olive and June. Another gray that I really loved and thought about putting in here was this one. Similar kind of idea, just quite a bit darker. This one's called Torrential from their Quick Dry line that also came out this fall, I believe, and that was really great too. But that almost made the cut, but not quite. I had to decide between these grays, and I decided to pick this lighter gray. But I think Olive and June did a pretty good job with adding colors this year, and I especially like this one because it's a little bit different. Next up is DND Clique Bait. This one is really gorgeous, you guys. It's like the palest purple. It's a really nice soft pastel, but yet it had quite a bit of brightness to it. So pretty much it's in pastel neon, which I really love, especially in the spring and summer. And you guys really like this one too on Instagram. It had quite a few views. And D&D is really hard for me. I love their polishes. I love the formula. I think they last well on me, but their collections are huge. They're like 36-piece collections. So I have a few collections that I still need to review, you guys. And I'm overwhelmed by it, to be honest. But I think I need to go through there and just pick out a handful of my favorites from that collection, because just filming that is just super overwhelming, and I'm not sure if I can show them all to you, but maybe I'll pick my favorites or something. If you have any suggestions for that, that would be great. But I loved this one. It was one of my favorites. They had some really good pink ones too, but I'll talk about those in a minute because we're going to get into pinks right after this. But such a gorgeous color, really opaque and beautiful and perfect for spring and summer. I cannot wait to pull this one out again. Pleasant Pink was also another one from the same collection that I love. It's the Diva First Class collection. I don't know if I mentioned that before. They're from the same one. I believe so. Maybe this is from a different one. Anyway, I might have that mixed up. I'll put it on here and kind of clarify that. But so many great pastel pinks. I like this one. I mean, pale pinks are some of my favorites. In fact, probably the favorite polish for me to wear. There's a lot of different ones. This one has a really good formula. It has quite a bit of brightness, and it's just, oh, it just makes you look tan in summer, So good. There were a few other pale pinks that were released this year that I loved too, that I had a hard time deciding between, but ultimately I picked this one just because of the opaqueness and brightness of it. But the Morgan Taylor You Have My Art is also a good one, and it's very, very close. I think it maybe has just a hint more purple. Everything's Cake is a good one too. Oh my gosh, you guys, I love this one so much. It's quite a bit lighter, so this is really kind of a true white with just a little splash of purple, and it's a cooler leaning purple, so love it. It's a little bit brighter than Hue Is My Artist, which is one of my favorites. But so good. I probably should have added this one too, because I do feel like it's a little bit different than Pleasant Pink, so maybe consider it added. Such a great one from that collection that came out, the Imagine That collection. So love these both. Don't know if you can see the differences here. This one's a little bit whiter and has more purple, and this is bright and has pink. So both really good, but I absolutely love this one. I'm really craving colors like this too. Maybe this would be a good color to do for my compare and contrast, because there's so many different ones. Years ago I did a pale pink comparison video, and maybe I should revisit that. It might be kind of fun, so you guys can pick your favorite one. Let me know in the comments down below if that's something that you want to see. Might be fun for Valentine's Day. Another pink that I absolutely fell in love with was this ORLY Sea Blossom. This is from the Aqua Aura collection that came in the spring. This was the only cream from the collection, and I think this is the only one that I pulled from that collection, even though I really liked it. Yep, yeah. Let me show you the other two I was going to pull out. I was also going to pull out this blue called Ripple Effect, and then also Morning Dew, this turquoise. Like I said, this is a cream and these were all shimmers. That was a really great collection. I loved these three the best out of it. So obviously I pulled them all out, but this one ultimately won over because I just feel like it's Kaleidoscope Eyes' baby sister. And if you guys know me, you know my love for Kaleidoscope Eyes. Okay, where were we? Sorry, I got interrupted by a phone call from my son who's settling back in college. So I never pass up an opportunity to talk to them when they call. I think I was comparing this to Kaleidoscope Eyes. Like I said, I feel like this is his baby sister. This one's a little brighter and a little more pink, but I love both of these. They're kind of like cotton candy pinks, and Kaleidoscope Eyes will probably always be a favorite. Love this one so much. Such a great polish. If you don't have it, I'm going to say it one more time. Get it. You will thank me and you will love it. Lots of great pinks this year, and this is one of them. Another pink that I love is Got Carried Away. I can't remember the name of the collection, but I believe it was a summer collection from Morgan Taylor. Love these pinks. As you guys can see, this one is cooler tone too. Very rich and bright and just so fun. I wore this on our trip to France and Germany and Switzerland, and it was one of my favorite ones to wear. So fun. Let's give you a little comparison to Kaleidoscope Eyes. It's a little darker, a little more purple. Same kind of feel though, and so these are amazing. Morgan Taylor does a really good job with their bright polishes, their neon polishes, and this is one of my favorites. Had to include it for sure. And this one is called Spring Fling. This was from their spring collection. Loved these that came out, and I was kind of surprised because there were quite a bit of shimmers in here. There were two that were my favorites, this one and a cooler tone one called Fluttery something. But anyway, this was the more kind of warmer pink, a little coral, and it's also warm because it has a little bit of warm shimmer in there, so it's a little bit goldeny, but so fun. I really liked this. I'll insert a picture of me wearing it this last winter. I don't know, I really liked it. I was really into warm pinks this year as well, probably more than I am cooler toned. I don't think I wore Kaleidoscope Eyes this summer. I think I gravitated more towards the I was just gonna pull the next one out, towards the warmer pinks, and you'll see another one coming up next. But loved this one, loved the shimmer in it, just thought it was so fun, and I had to add it. And I think this is probably one of the first times I've added a shimmery color to my favorites for the year. That goes to show that I'm really experimenting a little bit more and starting to like these a little bit more. On Another Level is this next one, and it is just stunning, you guys. It's this warm, rich, bright, beautiful pink, and I was just really craving that, and this one just hit right, you guys. Such a good polish, such a great formula. I do feel like sometimes I do need 3 coats with this, just because I do see a little darkness of the nail underneath, but I don't mind doing it because it's such a beautiful color. But there are other nails that I feel like I don't need to do that, so it's kind of interesting. But this is the one that I have on my nails, and it's perfect. perfect. Love the warmth of this one. I think I had worn so many cool toned pinks that I was really craving the warmth of this, and so I think I'm feeling that again this year. I was really happy to put this one on. I think this is going to be a fun Valentine's collection too. By the way, I do have reviews of all these collections with comparisons so you can see how it compared. I did feel like this one stood out a little bit more and is slightly different than some of the other ones that OPI has come out with in the past, just because it's a little bit warmer and bright and has a little bit of berry hint to it. I believe it was closest to Strawberry Margarita, but maybe a little bit richer, and that's a real classic shade, and it's nice to have a newer one that's maybe a little bit different. So love this one. Love, love, love. And just to see the difference, I'll show this next to Got Carried Away. As you can see, this has more purple in it, and this maybe has a little more orange, making it a little bit coral, but not so much that it is a coral, and I think that's what I loved about this one. Some other pinks that I really loved were this one from the Wicked collection that leans a little bit cool, and I did feel like it was slightly different than other pinks that OPI has. This one's called Everescent, and it's really beautiful. I really wanted to add it, but I had so many pinks. Bizarre You Ready was another pink that I love, and this is more of like a soft bubblegum pink. Oh, I really want to add this one. I love all the pinks, and this was so great too. Love this collection. What was that one from? I think it was the Imagine That, but I could be wrong. Anyway, and then this D&D pink was one of my favorites. It's called What a Tease. So great too. This one's a little bit warmer and more mid-tone, so those were great too. I wanted to mention them while I'm talking about all the pinks. Sunny Days Ahead is a really stunning polish from their Laces More Spring collection that came out. I feel like Morgan Taylor just really killed it, and I don't know if that's just because they gave us a lot of creams, and creams are what I love, but I have just loved a lot of their polishes, and they're quickly becoming one of my favorite nail polish brands. I think with OPI, I'm just getting kind of tired of all the shimmery colors, and these are just some bright, refreshing creams that I love. I love the brightness of this. I do really love these kind of yellowy orange creamsicle shades in the summer. They're just some of my favorites, and I have a few standouts from Essie that I love, like Souls on Fire, and I think that one's darker than this, and then Filling Wellies, which is one of my favorites, which is a little bit lighter than this one, but the same kind of fill. So I like to wear Filling Wellies in the spring, and then I feel like this is just a fun summer color that really pops. So love this one. It really makes you look like you have a tan. I think I wore Souls on Fire in Hawaii years ago, and it's the first polish that made me fall in love with polishes like this, but every time one comes out, I just fall in love again, and they're all slightly different, those three, and they're my top 3 shades like this, and I'm glad to have this one too. Getting into the blues and greens, First Class Tix is this polish that is next, and this is a stunning one. This pink one is from the same Your Way Infinite Shine collection. This is so gorgeous. The thing I like about this one is it leans a little bit more blue. Another one of my favorite OPI turquoise polishes, Cactus What You Preach, and that one's a little more green and different, and I love that one too, probably just as equally as this one, but I like this one because it leans a little bit more blue. There were so many good greens this year, and we're going to talk about more in a minute, but I'm going to mention a few that didn't quite make it in here but were super close. So this turquoise one that I mentioned earlier from the Orly collection that came out, they're pretty similar color tone, a little bit lighter, but this does have that shimmer in it, so if you do like a little bit of iridescent shimmer, this is a really great one, and it was so close to making it in, but this just more my style, just more creamy. Even though I did wear this one, I just prefer the creams, and this one's so good, but that one's really great too. This one's called Morning Dew, and I had mentioned this one earlier. Another great green one that's more of like a deeper sage green that I just absolutely love that I really want to add to this is Still Life of Flowers from Olive and June, and it is just really great. Also, we had a few kind of dusty greens that I loved called Unreal-It-In, which is kind of close to Still Life of Flowers, so I'm just going to quickly mention these. This one's a little bit lighter and brighter, but these are both really good too. So I thought I'd make sure to mention those because they deserve to be mentioned. And there were a couple blues that didn't quite make it in here, and I think while we're kind of looking at turquoise, it'd be a good time to mention these. OPI Verified was a really nice one, and so if I went up to 20 polishes for this, this would definitely be included. I do have quite a few polishes like this one, but this one's just really new, and I feel like it is pretty close to Bikini Sotini, although I do like Bikini Sotini better than this one. Nothing really really is going to compare to that one because I love it so much. And then this is the other blue one that I mentioned from that collection that has that iridescent shimmer in there. It has like a purpley shimmer in there, and those are really great blue ones too, but I didn't add any blues in here. So I wanted to mention those so you guys didn't feel left out if you really love blues, but those are my honorable mentions for those categories. But yeah, really love this one. The formula is really great on this. I love the Infinite Shine formula on all these polishes. It's definitely time for me to try this top coat again. And actually I wanted to mention I did pick up a lot of the rapid dry OPI polishes that are new that just came out. They were going quite quickly at Ulta, and I went there and saw them and picked up a handful. I don't know if I'm going to be reviewing the entire collection, but I picked out a good variety, and I'll be doing a review of that to see how they are. And there's a top coat that comes with that I'm curious to try out as well. So I'll be trying those things out, but yeah, love this one. Then another green, which is really interesting because it is kind of a brown too, is Artwork in Progress from their In Frame Fall Morgan Taylor collection. And this is such an interesting color, and these are just colors that I crave and love. You can't quite tell if it's gray or if it's green or if it's brown. I will say when I did wear it for a long period of time that I did feel like it was more of an olive green, which I absolutely loved, and it is just stunning. It goes on kind of suede-like, but I do like a good glossy top coat on it. But loved this one. I feel like it's quite unique and different and just fun and perfect for fall. So when this one came for fall, I just fell in love. This is gonna be hard to pick my top 5. I haven't done that yet, just so you know. I'm gonna have to do it after this, and I'm getting a little nervous. Just Hanging Around is from that same collection, same kind of feel. I just love the polishes that Morgan Taylor is giving us, and this is just so creamy and beautiful. Same thing, I can't quite tell if it's a teal, if it's a green, or if it's a gray. It's got all those in there, and it is gorgeous. While I did swatch it against a lot of Essie teals because they have quite a few, it was close to some of those. So it kind of surprised me that it's teal, because when you look at it in the bottle, it doesn't quite look that way, but it is kind of a teal polish. But I want to believe that it's a little bit different. It's a little bit gray. I feel like something just sets it apart, and I absolutely love it. I mean, look at the feel of that collection. I think that whole collection was really, really fantastic. So yeah, Morgan Taylor did a really great job. Another one from the Miami era from the OPI Summer collection is Midnight Snacc, and I absolutely love this dark, rich green. It does lean a little warmer, but it does still have just a touch of cool to it, which I love. And I was happy to have it because it's really close to Front Runner, one of my favorites that I talk about all the time that's so, so hard to find. And I'm sure you guys are too, because I can quit talking about that one and talk about this one. Hopefully you guys grab this one because it's such a nice kind of rich inky green, which I crave, especially in the fall. I thought it was kind of interesting that it came out in the summer, but I definitely wear these in the fall and winter, and especially around Christmas time. I love a good rich green, and this one is just stunning. The formula is perfect, such a great shade. So it's nice to go through and review these because OPI did really have some good colors. It's just the last few collections I just wasn't super excited about, but it was good to review spring and summer to know that there was some really great ones out there. Never Too Bold is this next one, and this is from the Essie's Punk at Heart Fall collection, and I was really, really craving a blue that was shimmery this year for some reason. I typically don't, but I was happy to wear this one. I think it's stunning. I think it's fun. I think it's a little different. I like that it's a little bit edgy. That whole collection had an edgy feel. There was another one in there that I loved called Studs and Spikes that didn't quite make it but was super, super close. And there's one from the new Ulta collection that's kind of close to the Studs and Spikes that I wanted to put in, but I think this one will be added next year because I just reviewed it and it's new this year. But anyway, been loving these kind of dark, moody, edgy, shimmery shades. And yeah, anyway, the Studs and Spikes didn't quite make it, but that was a good one too, and it looks so good on the nail. Wore this one too and absolutely loved it, and this one's fun too. I just love it, and I feel like it's a good time to wear this now. I feel like I could take this into like early spring, and oh, so good. I'm kind of want to put this on again. And my last one is Road Rage. You guys, look at this neon red. It is so gorgeous. While it does kind of look more orange than you think on the nail, it does have a hint of pink. This was from their Vice collection that Cirque Colors releases every year, and I pick it up every year because it's fantastic. One thing that they have been doing is they do re-releases, and they have you vote for them, so you can vote for them, I believe, in the spring springtime, which colors you want to come back. And this was one of the new shades. This and the blue were new, and the rest of them were all re-releases, and they're all fantastic, you guys. I love them all. It was hard for me not to add them, but I added this one, of course, because it was for sure new this year. There was a red that was released the year before this last one that was more orange tone, and this one's more pink, so I like it better. And this Road Rage is just amazing, you guys. Love it, love it, love it. Cannot wait to wear it this summer, poolside or by the lake. Such a good shade. I really just love these rich, bright reds, especially when they're a little bit coral leaning or pink leaning. So fantastic. I'll be looking forward to their Vice collection coming up this year. Okay, I did it, you guys. These are my top 5. It might change in 5 minutes, but this is what I'm gonna record right now as I'm doing this. Such a good bunch of polishes. So I did this Clique Bait, this pastel purple Road Rage, this red neon, and then Sunny Days Ahead. Oh, love this one. It's showing up more yellow. It definitely has more orange in it. The dark green Midnight Snacc, and then On Another Level, the one that I'm wearing, which is so fantastic. And I think my number one has to be, because I wore it a couple times more, is this pink one. I always love a good pink, and I was really into warm pinks, and this is the one that I was probably most excited about throughout the year. So On Another Level is my favorite number one for 2024. These are all so great though. Look at those, so stunning. I would love to know what your favorite polishes were this year, and what collections you really liked, and what brands you really liked. Will you comment down below? I just think that's going to be so good for me to know what you guys are really loving. And honestly, tell me what you weren't loving, because I mentioned that a few times in here too, of things that I kind of got tired of. So I'm excited to see what this year brings us for nail polish, and I hope you guys are too. And we will see you guys in my next review. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.